Welcome to Tush Twins, heard on malcolmpresents.com. And today it's a little different because one of the cheeks is not here. And
Right.
we have, I forget whether it's the left cheek or the right cheek, Maxine.
Uh, it's always, I mean, if we could have two left cheeks, that would be kind of funny, but it's not
It
going to happen.
would be hard to
So
walk.
it'd be hard to walk with two left cheeks.
You look like John
But
Wayne, tilted to one side.
where are you? Yeah, speaking of that, the Tush liked the Tush who's not here, absent Tush. She's in South Carolina in Charleston and a tour of the town right now. She called me and said she was taking some sort of trolley into the various sundry high line places
The
in
hotspot,
Charleston.
that should take a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, she went up 4 blocks, seen it all. I don't know.
I'm just
I
being
wasn't
ultra sophisticated.
I was in Charleston when I was pretty young. My dad, we would drive down to Florida a lot, and sometimes we'd stop at historic places. So we wound up at Fort Sumter, where it all started. And I am going to assume she'll go there. I don't know. My son was there last summer and he did the historic part, but mostly he went to the beach because what else are you going to do?
I thought it all started the Garden of Eden. Was
Did
that
it?
in North
Probably.
Carolina?
I don't know. You would think,
Speaking of the Garden of Eden,
yeah, there's a Garden of
this
Eden.
coming Friday is
It's Passover, the first night of Passover. It's also Good Friday. It's also Ramadan started. And there's just a lot of holy stuff going on this
a lot
month.
of hope.
It's Earth month, but it's also Holy month somehow. And people need to be conscious in what they're doing in their various temples, churches, mosques,
Right,
that
right.
they
So
pay
all of you out
attention.
there, whatever you celebrate, have a happy.
Right.
I think
That's them.
between, yeah.
We're gonna do that for
I
sure
didn't
on
know why.
Friday
I
night.
didn't know why it was Good Friday if Christ was
He's supposed to rise.
crucified.
He's supposed to rise. I think he
What?
rises.
I thought he rose on Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday, yes. I think you're right.
Yeah, but it's Good Friday.
Good Friday is, yeah, it's the holiest day in
Good
the
Friday last week.
Catholic calendar. But
Anyway, stick to what we know, and we know.
yeah, well,
Judaism.
yeah, like who was the comedian who said
Jackie Mason.
not Jackie Mason,
No.
Black, what's his first name? He was on the Daily Show a lot. He would do a skit and come across something, and they'd go around the table and like, why do you celebrate this holiday? And then he would go around and go, because we're Jews. So we had that happen when I think it was my great nephew Ethan who did that at the table one time. So said Phil. They're like, why do we celebrate this holiday? And Ethan, who was little, goes, because we're Jews. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
come to think of it, you did that routine, but it's like Gilbert Gottfried just passed away the other day.
yeah, I know that was sad. I didn't want to hear it. I know he was ill. I don't know exactly
They said
what.
L, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what.
But they had a picture of it that he posted, before, and they have him, Louis Anderson, and Bob
Yeah.
Saget. And
And
within
who?
3 months,
Oh yeah,
within a month,
we still don't know what happened on there, but Lewis Black, who's I'm talking about. Thank goodness there's these phones, right? Google. Lewis Black is the one. Anyway,
speaking about Google, you had a little write-up you did about Passover, or as we call it, Pesach.
Pesach. Yeah. So for folks out there who kind of don't know about this, this is what, I've kind of found.
Yeah, Max, do me a favor. If your chin is on the ground, could you readjust the screen a little bit to? A little more, just a little more. Okay.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Technical difficulty. We're all back on.
Okay. That's okay. We'll erase it in
Take-
another
take-
life, not this one.
Take two.
Take two.
Okay. So here's a very basic storyline, which I'll read, of Passover. So the Pharaoh is fearful that there will be too many Jews living in Egypt, so he institutes slavery and demands that male Jewish babies be killed, the firstborn. Baby Moses is saved by his mother, who floats him in a basket down the Nile River, where he is found and adopted by the Pharaoh's daughter. After killing a slave master, Moses flees into the desert and encounters a burning bush. None of this is like really a true thing. God tells Moses to go to Pharaoh and lead the Jews out of slavery. That's true. That's a true part, but that's a weird, the Passover story. Passover was celebrated 8 days, 7 in Israel. How come? Did they miss a day? Did my meeting not getting something? Why can't we do that here? One less day we don't have to worry about. We can eat bread.
I like matzah.
Well, my husband is not a fan.
And okay, pray tell, why do we eat matzah, not bread?
Well, we eat matzah because the story goes that as Moses was leading the Jews out of Egypt, they were baking bread, but the bread, they had to leave so quickly, the bread didn't have a chance to rise. So it was flat little matzah pieces.
And they forgot the yeast.
They forgot the yeast. Whatever they forgot, it's a lot of.
Wake up the next morning, schmuck. You forgot the yeast.
You forgot to add the yeast. What's wrong with you? But it says like, you shall eat nothing but leavened.
Unleavened.
You shall eat nothing leavened, excuse me.
Yeah.
In all your dwelling places, you shall eat unleavened bread. Both Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jews, as two types, follow this law by banning chametz. Chametz is a leaven-grained product like bread. Ashkenazi Jews, which are mostly European, also bad kitniot. Now, kitniot is rice, corn, legumes, and seeds. Why? What did they do? Are they leavened in any way? Am I missing something? So the Sephardic Jews, basically said, no, we're eating rice, we're eating that. And this so the food rules have been disputed within all the denominations and regions. And so the Ashkenazi Jews don't eat rice, but since I have some Sephardic Jew in me, I can eat rice because I'm part Sephardic. So there you go. And
you're only can eat rice 4 days.
Why?
Out of the 8.
Why?
Because you're half.
That's right. That's right. No, I think, at this point, there's like, people know, people understand that in Judaism, a lot of people know that Yiddish is, a lot of the word, the language that's used, but even, so people know words like, he's a schlep, or he's a mensch. And it's better to be a mensch, a good person, than a schmuck. It's like people have that kind of down. And so there's a difference between, the Sephardic Jews are Israel and Spain and Greece and Turkey.
The Middle East.
Middle East. And that's, my grandfather, we thought he was born actually in what was Palestine before Israel, but I'm getting mixed signals that I'm told that he was born, I think, in Turkey, which is also considered Middle East, I guess. I don't know. And that
there was a big Jewish population.
Right. So then he went to Palestine and lived there, and then he came to the US. So his youth was in Israel / Palestine.
I mean, my boys, I don't know if they can trace their grandparents, but they can trace me to my dad was born in Brooklyn and moved to Los Angeles. That's it.
That's as far as it goes, huh?
That's as far as it goes.
Well, I have my grandmother on my mom's side was born in England, Liverpool. My grandmother on my dad's side is Polish, was Polish, and we thought that my grandfather on my mom's side was Polish as well, but no, he was actually born in Russia. So I've got some Ruski blood, Polish blood, British blood, American blood.
Well, I
So
think I told you, I didn't, I always thought that my father actually was, his family came from Russia in 1905, I think.
mhm.
But I wasn't sure and I didn't know any of them. So my son, I think it was last year, gave me one of these ancestry things where they had just spit in something and
Right,
sent it
right.
in. And lo and behold, you know what I discovered? 100% Jewish, Eastern European Jew. Okay,
Mhm.
where in Eastern Europe? Was I born in Ukraine? Were they born in Russia? Were they born in Lithuania? I
Did
have
you
no
know? Did they
idea.
tell you?
It doesn't tell you. It
Doesn't
just
tell
said
you.
Eastern
Right,
European Jew. Like I didn't know that. By looking at me, you say, ah,
right, right.
Eastern
Exactly.
European Jew. He was probably born in Brooklyn the way he
You
talks.
gotta do a deeper dive into that there, Malcolm.
Yeah,
Find out. There's a show on channel on PBS
yeah.
that does the celebrities, and they find out where they do major research. They have people in all these places who find all this stuff. It's like, I want to find out about my grandmother. I want to go to Liverpool and Hull, England, and find out what that background was.
Can you
Because
imagine you're related to John Lennon?
no, it would be Harrison, because there's a Harrison last
Oh,
name in our family. But George Harrison was not Jewish. So I don't
yeah,
know.
but
Harrison is Jewish name, but who knows? I don't know.
listen, they might have, but during they change it. There's so many pogroms and things that they probably change it.
They changed the names.
Yeah, with it
My
was
grandmother
Harrisonowitz.
could be. I mean, my grandmother came over when she was 5, I think, from
That's when
Britain.
my
And
dad came over. But by the way, okay, what does this have to do with how we celebrate? How did you celebrate
well, we
Passover
have Passover is
in
you
your
get
youth?
family. And my ute in Brooklyn, we had big seders. I mean, I remember as a kid, my the only man I knew as my grandfather, because on my dad's side, my grandmother was an incredible cook. My dad's uh, dad, his father left him and his brother and his mom. My dad was like 8, and my grandmother remarried. Papa Lou is, to me, my grandfather. He would always be my grandfather, because I am named after my mom's dad. He was Max. So I never met Max, obviously. I'm named
And by the
after
way,
him.
just to fill in the non-Jews, the Jews are you're named after someone that passed away.
Mm, right,
You can't be named after someone that's alive.
right. That's true. So anyway, so Papa Lou would, he would conduct these incredible, like, 4-hour seders. And my grandmother was, I wish I was I was, had any cooking skills like her. She was an incredible cook, incredible. And we would have like 30 people in this apartment in Brooklyn on Ocean Parkway. And there was a kids' table, and then there was the adult table. And we'd get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. And I mean, by the time we got to let's eat, it had to be over 2 hours or more. What did you do? Did you have the same kind of thing?
Same thing, except it wasn't that formal. But we had the Passover, the Seder, Passover dinner is called Seder, Seder. But if
Right.
you're from Brooklyn, it's Seder or
What is
Seder.
that? What does the word mean, by the way? Do you know the Hebrew word, what it means?
Big meal that you eat when you're totally hungry because you did a lot of this ritual junk before. What
Well,
does it mean? Do you know?
it translates into the word order. And the Passover Seder is a home ritual blending religious rituals, food, song, and storytelling. And families hold a Seder on the first night and sometimes second night. Back then we had both nights. For many, many years up here where I'm living now, we had I did Seder's for 25 years easily and would do both nights all the time. Now my family is completely, no one's around. Everyone is, unfortunately, we lost them and they're up there, or they're moved to the West Coast, they moved
or
down
they,
to
or they live.
Florida. I mean, all over the place.
I was just talking to my cousin in Florida, and they have like, I mean, that's where they have the Seder's. Over here,
Mhm.
I have none of my Jewish family here. I have a great
Right.
family. I mean, honest, my wife's family is great, and we get together, but they're not Jewish.
Right,
And so
right,
we don't have the traditional, even though most of my family is really not religious, but there's a culture, so to speak, a
right.
tradition. So when Passover, the family gets together.
Yeah, I mean, with COVID though, the last couple of years, we've had Zoom Seders. My nephew Joshua is a rabbi, so one night, he would do a Seder from he's in Denver. My rest of the family's out in California, and some family, not much family here. Everyone
And then,
is,
and then there's you.
and then there's me. I'm the outlier. I'm the one I'm not moving anywhere. So everyone else moved. I stayed.
Okay.
So my husband was like, what the hell happened? There's no one around anymore. All our family and friends all just like moved, and it's
That's why they call us the Wandering Jews.
yeah. So at this point, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, we'll do a couple of Zooms, I think, but we'll do this 10-minute Seder. It says a 10-minute Seder. I have 10-minute Seder.
I still feel a little let down because my wife it's not really traditional Seder because she's not Jewish. So the
Mhm.
boys are half Jewish, but we have a dinner together on Friday.
Yeah, okay. Do
So,
do the 10-minute Seder, man. It's cool.
yeah, but I'll have to ask the youngest to ask the 4 questions.
So that's the youngest. I have my youngest is gonna be my dog. She doesn't talk though. So
But the
uh,
thing was, what you were talking about, the tables, there was the children's table, the
right.
adults table, which was the adults were the aunts and uncles and the
Mhm.
parents. But then
Right.
there was the older table, the
Oh
great
yeah.
aunts and uncles.
Right. Well,
So
we
I, I,
were
I always, when I speak to my cousin who's my age, I say, Susan, when did we become them?
right,
'Cause
right.
now we're at the older table if we had the
If
dinner.
yeah, I'm trying not to look at it that way, but it's everyone pretty much was into dispersed. I don't think there was no older table. There was just the table of adults and the table of kids.
Well, I hate to say it, any of the people in my family that were older than me are, with Phil and Mitch. They're
Hmm.
having dinner up in heaven or
Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah. Well, my mom's probably making some matzo ball soup.
Yeah.
That
The
that's
main
what I'm
room.
thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna be making matzo ball soup, and I'm trying to find some Sephardic good dishes, like more Mideastern kind of dishes. I've been doing that of the last few years. I've been trying to get a little more inventive with some little more spices that they use, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it. There's a lot. We
Go to
have
Google.
My mom used to
Uh,
make
They have everything.
incredible potato latkes on
Well, I mean, I joke with my wife. The family's from El Salvador. So I
Okay.
say, probably she's a Sephardic Jew because during the 14th century, they had in Spain, they had the Inquisition where they
Hmm.
either you converted from Judaism, you were killed, or you left.
Right.
So I joke that her family probably was Sephardic Jews who left Spain during that period and wind up
In El
resettling
Sal.
in Central America. Because
Yeah.
number one, she doesn't look, typically you think of Salvadorian as smaller people. She's
Right.
about 5'7", 5'7.5".
Hmm. Okay.
Well, she's dark, so a lot of people think that she's Italian or someplace in South America. But she
Right.
cooks. She's a great Jewish cook,
Good for her.
and she has an innate ability. It's just like she could read a recipe, do the recipe, and alter it a little bit with the taste she likes.
Hmm. Well,
I
you
don't
know, the
know.
Seder, we have a Seder plate, and like you put different things on that plate and everything is symbolic. For instance, there's a roasted shank bone, which represents the sacrifice, Pesach sacrifice. An egg represents spring in the circle of life. Bitter herbs represent the bitterness of slavery. Charoseth is kind of an applesauce with wine, nuts, and apples. I love that. Represents the mortar used by the Jews in Egypt. Karpas is greens to represent spring. And then you put 3 pieces of matzah on the table and you break off the middle one. And then the leader of the Seder hides that middle matzah somewhere. And the kids have to find it afterwards, called the afikomen. And the kids run crazy all over the house and you go, you're hot, you're cold, you're hot. And then, you can actually hold the Seder ransom because you can't really end the Seder without the afikomen. And yeah, we used to put our, I was hit up for a lot of money over the years. I used to try to hit up my folks. I would get, things, or there would be little goofy toys or something like that.
Yeah, but
but
basically, even though it's a serious holiday, it's a lot of fun with family.
yeah, it's interesting. And, we let in Eliyahu, and we opened the door and let, Eliyahu come in because we have a glass of wine, a
Right.
big glass of wine on the table for that. And you sing the song.
Right.
And
It's, in English, that's Elijah.
right. So then we also sing, there's a lot of different Passover songs. There's Dayenu, and there's a lot of other.
Give me a course of Diana with your guitar.
One little goat, Chad Gadya, Chad Gadya. My father bought for 2 zuzim. I have to find the actuals because I need my actual Haggadah because this doesn't go through it. It just doesn't. And then there's the 4 questions. Why is this night different from all other nights? So
it's the only one I remember.
And yeah, why is this night different from all of the nights? And then we have the sons, the wise one, the evil one, who doesn't know how to ask a question. It goes into all these things. And then you do the 10 plagues where you dip your pinky into the wine and you go, fire and, stones and whatever, you go through each of the plagues. And it's good because I get to lick the wine off.
And then at the end, you turn on the television and you watch the 10 Commandments.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be this weekend for sure. I don't know what day it's on, but it's always on.
Think it's last weekend, someone said.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get it if you go even.
Not AMC. Turner Classic Movies. They always have it.
Oh yeah, and if we watch it on that, you won't have interruption. You can. I mean, it's a long movie. It's wildly long, but I remember them, Edward G. Robinson going, Moses. Like, and then the famous scene where they part the sea. And if you go to Universal Pictures in LA, they show you how they did that. You take the tour and the water comes in and then show you how they parted the sea for special effects. That was a big special effect back then.
Back then, yeah.
Right now it's, I mean, I haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie. They said it's really good, so I have to catch that. It's on streaming now, so I got.
Was Spider-Man Jewish?
I don't know. You have to check his spidery part.
His genitalia.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not really thinking about that, Malcolm. It's just not on my A list of things to check.
I guess Paula's not in. I think her mind would be like that.
She would check it because she's pretty bad, I have to admit. But right now she's being a Southern belle. I can't even imagine. She probably must be wearing her little Southern hat. No, she has to watch out for the sun. Maybe she has a little fan, or maybe she'll start doing something, like Frankly Scarlet. I don't. Gone with the Wind. I don't know.
Well, she likes playing roles.
This is true. She can do that. She could play roles. I could play roles back with her. We've done things like that. We've gotten into a lot of trouble in our day, I must say. but Passover was not one of those times.
Did you guys celebrate Passover together with her family, or they were separate?
They were not very, religious. They did certain traditions. Sometimes they were with us, but they didn't really. I mean, they did Hanukkah, they did stuff like that. I don't remember. I know we did some Passovers for sure, but and then we always got in trouble anyway. So it didn't. I would hold out for a lot more money, and then she would hold out for even more money. We were just two little Vances, I'll tell you. We drove our parents a little kooky sometimes. Yay us. So, but it's it's really interesting that all this happens at the same time. Most of the time, Easter and Passover are pretty close, and this year it's really pretty
Together
close.
almost.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's just way, way, way apart. It's not anywhere near. It's like, weeks apart.
I always thought Passover was the right time, because in Passover, if you're really religious, you clean the whole house.
Mhm.
I always took that. Oh, that's spring cleaning, but everything
True.
you had to change your dishes. You could
Yeah.
not use the same dishes that you used for
Right.
the regular.
Because it had chametz on it, and you didn't. Yeah, we used to do that in my house every year. My dad, he was very. I mean, he wanted to keep kosher, but my mom would like make bacon when he was away. That kind of thing. That always happened. And so we followed things. Our temple was an Orthodox temple. My bat mitzvah was the first bat mitzvah in that temple, the Brighton Beach Jewish Center. They would not let me go onto the bima. I had to do my Torah portion on the stair, going up to the bima.
Where was the Brighton Beach Jewish Center?
Right on Ocean Parkway off of Neptune, right across from the houses, which I won't mention the name of because I refuse to. So,
Okay.
So it was a block and a half from my house. My brothers both got married there. They had their bar mitzvahs there. I had my bat mitzvah there. My parents were really involved in that synagogue. Rabbi Newstein was the rabbi. He was at my wedding. I had 4 rabbis at my wedding. Ultimately, the rabbi who did the actual wedding service was Rabbi Josh Shapiro on my dad's side, and we had Rabbi Chin was there, Rabbi Newstein was there, and I just don't remember who I was so rabbified, I didn't know what to do. It was just so
if God forbid you ever get divorced, you'd have to have like 4 separate.
Well, the ketubah, there was a mistake, right? So that which was really a bad mistake somehow, and luckily there was 4 rabbis, so I think it was Rabbi Chin. His last name was Chin, Rabbi Chin, and he had an extra ketubah in his car, and that saved the day. Could you imagine that? That was quite the wedding. I gotta say, it was a kick-ass wedding. People remember that. Still, people who are still with us on the planet remember that wedding.
Speaking about something, I was speaking about people who are still on the planet or remember things. I was speaking to my cousin. I always get sentimental about things during the holidays, and so I call up relatives. All of them live in Florida now.
Right.
But I was speaking to him, and he's a little older than me, and he says, "Yeah, I remember. I went to your circumcision. I went to your bris."
No. Oh,
he went to my bris, and he was like 4 years old.
Oh Lord, that's crazy.
And he said, "I was horrified because you were bleeding so much. Don't tell me, Alan. It still hurts."
Oh man, I don't want to. I couldn't watch my son's bris. I left the room. I was, and Paula's the godmother, so she had to be there, the redhead, right? And she's my son's godmom, or we call her the godmaja. My brother-in-law is the godfather. And then we have a new baby in the family, Benjamin. I have to meet. They're up in Saratoga, so unless I go up there, which I will at some points, hopefully as the weather gets warmer, I'll go visit Benjamin David. And he's the second Benjamin David in my family because my other great nephew, Joshua's son, is also Benjamin David. I had no idea. I have two Benjamin Davids. So it's pretty cool.
And then Elon can name his son. It can become the third Benjamin David.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna. My boy's gonna. The kid's not gonna have a usual name. I can tell you, it won't be the typical name. So we'll see. We'll see where that happens. I was like, hurry up, boy, get married and have some. One of his good friends just had a little. His wife had a little girl.
You don't know how many Passovers you have left.
Yeah, I have a lot left.
How old was your mom?
101.
102, 101?
101.
Okay.
101. Yeah, my dad was my age.
Oh.
So I got to get over this. I got to get through August. I'll be fine.
I'm 22 years older than my father when he passed.
There you go.
My mother was in the mid-80s.
Right. Well, I'm hoping I get my mom's longevity genes. So, I don't know. Right now I have my dad's crappy heart, so I don't know. It's like, and today I looked at I was born in Caledonian Hospital in Brooklyn, which is actually right next. It looks out on Prospect Park. I had no idea. The hospital doesn't exist anymore. It's now like a luxury apartment building, $3,000 for a studio because it overlooks the park.
For some reason, I have been to Caledonia. I think that might have been why it's so familiar to me. I think that's when the Brooklyn Dodgers, when they got injured, that was the hospital they went to.
Right, because it's not far
Near
from Ebbets Field. Right. As a matter of fact, the high school and middle school is the Jackie Robinson School, and Ebbets Field something. There's something around the area there called Ebbets Field. I don't know. So it's that general area. And I didn't even know
I was born in Brooklyn Jewish Women's Hospital.
Oh.
So that's why I have an affinity for women all my life.
At the name, well, my husband was born in Doctor's Hospital.
So I became a doctor.
I became a doctor.
Anyway, speaking about the coincidences of life, our show's over.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That we never have anything to talk about, do we?
Once I get you talking. It reminds me of all I have to do is hello, Gracie, except I contributed.
Hello, Gracie. All right. Well, I hope we gave some information to folks, and we'll be back with Tush #1 next week.
I think our non-Jewish friends are totally confused what Passover is.
Well, they'll be even more confused after they listen to this.
Right, that's what I mean.
Right,
Anyway,
that's exactly what you meant.
as what they say in Los Angeles, have a Zisen Pesach.
Have a Zisen Pesach and a happy, a nice Easter holiday and Ramadan and anything else you might, the Buddhist folks and all the others, namaste.
And peace to the world.
We need peace. This is a very rough time we're in. There's a lot, and oh, by the way, they caught the guy who
The bomb,
did the subway.
In the subways.
They found him in the East Village.
I'm
so glad I wasn't there. All right.
I'll speak to you.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Next week.
All right, take care. Have a good week.
Bye. When Paula comes back. Bye.
Right, she'll be back. Ciao.
Hopefully. Bye. Unless she decides.
No, she will. She will. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.